show you how. Listen to me now. It's coming down to the two of us. I'm here to rumble. I'm here to rumble. Get ready for thunder, 'cause I'm here to rumble. I'm here to rumble. I'm here to rumble. Ladies and gents, I won't pretend. Think I forgot my medicine. Think I'm a mess, but I'm making sense. I feel it in my skeleton. I know I'm intense, I'll cut the suspense. I'm here to take down everyone. I'm here to take down everyone. I'm here to rumble. I've got danger in my favor, like a razor. I'm here to rumble. Diamond breaker, it's my nature. Get ready for thunder, 'cause I'm here to rumble. I'm here to rumble. I'm here to rumble. Yeah, I'm here to rumble. I'm here to rumble now. I'm here to rumble. Listen to me now, listen to me now. It's coming down to the two of us. Let me show you how. Listen to me now. It's coming down to the two of us. Listen to me now. Listen to me now. It's coming down to the two of us. Let me show you how. Listen to me now. It's coming down to the two of us. I'm here to rumble. I'm here to rumble. I've got danger in my favor, like a razor. I'm here to rumble. Diamond breaker, it's my nature. Get ready for thunder. I'm here to rumble. I've got danger in my favor, like a razor. I'm here to rumble. Diamond breaker, it's my nature. Get ready for thunder, 'cause I'm here to rumble.
Welcome to Off the Glass, the Oak Ridge High School basketball show. Joining me is the head coach of the Lady Wildcats, Coach Paige Taylor. Coach, 18 games in the book. If you go back to November, would you have believed it, that you would have made it this far?
I was actually thinking about that the other night. I was getting ready for bed, and I thought, we're actually getting ready for the postseason. Like, we've had a season, and I thought about all the people before the season started in the preseason. Do you think y'all play? Do you think you'll play? And we've made it. We're doing well. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, you only have 4 regular season games left. 3 of them at home, 1 of them on the road at Fulton, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Which is hard to believe, honestly.
It is, and Hope's mom the other night said, "I don't know how you do it, lose kids every year. You send them away, and it at this point is when you really start thinking about that. Like, how many more games do we have left? How many more games with this team? And hopefully we'll go far in the postseason and get more time with them."
You've had, this is, I guess, your 6th season, so you've let some seniors go over the course. How is that for you?
I told her I think I'm somewhat a little bit used to it on a different level as a counselor, because you graduate. I've had kids for 4 years and then they're gone, and I think the thing for me is I know there's so much more for these kids they're going to grow so much more at the next level, whether they play basketball or not. And I look forward to watching them become a young adult and grow into that. I think I look at it that way. You certainly miss them as a basketball player and your teams, and it's sad because this team, I tell the girls every year at the banquet, like, this team, you'll never be together again, this unit. Like, it's always going to be different after this. And just want them to appreciate that while they have it.
Let's go back to Brianna Dunbar when she came in the program. Let's trace her. How, like, her growth from a freshman year to her senior year, it must be the most rewarding part about it. Not just Brianna. I just was thinking that's somebody who went through the 4 years.
Yeah, I know. I think about, like, our 2 seniors now. Bree definitely. Bree grew, but Bree was a kid that you knew coming in, she was going to work hard. She was going to get after it, and she did for 4 years. And you miss that. You miss that energy, that effort, and the vocal leadership that Bree had. And you look at Hope and Kamari. We were talking. Hope, her freshman year, just played on a freshman team. She didn't practice varsity, didn't dress varsity. Kamari dressed varsity and practiced varsity, but spot minutes. She didn't. She was not a major contributor on our team her freshman year, and so you look at where they're both at now, and how much growth that they've had, and it's truly amazing.
Both of them going to play college basketball, which is in itself, a great accomplishment.
Right.
Kamari, she moved into 6th place all time on the scoring list last night, and I was going through her stats today, and she's like in top 15 in 4 or 5 different categories, and she didn't play much her sophomore year, so it's basically, or her freshman year, it's basically these last few years, and that's pretty impressive.
Right. If you're looking at her statistics, the bulk of it is 3 years, and she's a kid. I had a conversation with her last night at halftime, and I told her, I said, you're carrying us right now in this game against Carnes. You're carrying us, but what you can't do is get frustrated because you have to carry us, because the caliber player that you are, you should want to carry your team. That's a responsibility that you want to fall on your shoulders, and how you carry your team. You get out there and you do what you're doing, but you also tell them, come on, let's go. Like, you pull them with you. Don't get frustrated that you have to, want to.
Slightly different, but I can think of 2 other players, one that you coached, one that you did not coach. Jada Gwynn was kind of like that way, because her senior year, she scored over 800 points, and basically the whole offense ran through her. She took the ball down the floor, she rebounded, she did about everything, and she didn't seem to be affected at all by having to be that leader, although she wasn't very vocal in her play.
No, Jada, I remember Jada's freshman year. We've talked about this. I got so frustrated because I always thought there was more that she could give. There was always more. And at one point we're like, well, we just won't start her. We'll put her on the bench. Maybe that'll motivate her. And then you look at her stats, and she was leading us in almost every statistical category. It's like, you can't sit her on the bench.
Right.
But Jada, she definitely carried us her senior year. And even the leadership, maybe not so vocal, on the court, but she and Tyler Copeland in that locker room, that was probably the best chemistry of a team that I've ever coached, and with that senior year, and Kamari and Hope have that role and responsibility this year, and but I'm proud of both of them. Kamari's has a lot to carry, but you look at statistically, and she leads us in every statistical category. She sets the tone. She sets the pace for us.
One thing that Gracie said to me on the show here, I guess it was last week. She said, she said that unlike last year, especially the younger ones, kind of felt a little bit like they were not quite as close on the team. She says this year she thinks the chemistry amongst them are pretty good, that they all get along great, even though they haven't been able to bond like we've talked about on the show, going on trips and such.
Yeah, I think there's definitely better. Last year's group of freshmen was very timid, very shy, they were sitting, you'd look, and everybody, all the returners would be over here, and all the freshmen would be over here. And it's not, and a lot of that's personality, it's going to be different every year. But I do see the interaction much better this year.
Let's talk about basketball games here. And that other person was Nikki Caldwell, too, she was basically, it was 4 players to get Nikki the ball.
Yes.
And they went to the state tournament that year with her, and she played for Lady Vols. She obviously very talented player. But you played 2 ball games this week. Friday over at Clinton, where you won the district regular season championship. Congratulations on that. I think that's obviously, we've talked about the ramifications of that, getting a chance to host all your ball games at the Wildcat Arena.
Right.
So that's really big. You played that Cards team again last night. Dylan, go ahead and roll some of the highlights here. I didn't want to play the first Cards game, but this is from the Clinton ball game, and you came out ready to play. I thought in this ball game in particular, I thought Hope played her best offensive game of the year for sure.
I did too. Hope had a great game at Clinton. She was in it mentally. We gave her a little bit of a hard time and told her, we want you to play against Clinton every game with that energy and that effort. But no, she had a great game for us, and it's what we need from her on a daily basis when we play.
You were a little concerned, I think, about Jazz Moore. I mean, I don't see if she's in here. She's not in there. She was the larger post player for them, and you were, I guess, kind of concerned that Gracie would have to step up. And I thought Gracie did. Gracie did a really good job.
I agree. You know, Gracie defensively made some great plays. I thought that was probably one of the better games Gracie's had. You know, all around the season for us as well. The effort.
You know, I guess in terms of. You know, it's too bad you can't play Clinton. They just seem to get motivated because, you know, most of them, they know each other or they've had some interactions in AAU or, you know, middle school they played each other. So there's a lot more familiarity, I guess, with this group here. And there's just something about beating your cross-county rival, too. And, you know, especially if it's Clinton, you know. Yeah,
and I think there's a lot of this that goes on, you know, a little chatter back and forth, and social media plays a part in that. And I just think, you know, it was a good game. You know, they were in it mentally and emotionally.
When you were a player, would you have been on social media chattering and?
No, I would not have. I would not have.
Yeah, that's you know, I read some of that stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, Coach Gaddis, before he got his Twitter, he wanted me to kind of monitor some of the players' accounts. And I'd say, I don't think you really want to read this stuff, honestly.
No, I don't like seeing some of the stuff, and I wouldn't have, if I would have even grown up with any sort of social media, I think I don't know that I would have been a part of it.
In this ball game, obviously, you know, Kamari had her typical night. She's averaging 27 points a game. I'm trying to remember what Jada averaged her senior year. It's got to be fairly close to that. But she's been so consistent all year long.
She has. You know, I didn't really know. I didn't know how this year was going to play out. You know, who was going to step up. I mean, I knew Kamari. It would more than likely be Kamari as far as the stats. But I think one of her biggest areas of growth has been being consistent.
She definitely is that.
I think she's a kid that, you know, you can say, well, you know, I know we're going to get steals, we're going to get rebounds, you know, we're going to get effort from her. And so I think that's been the biggest thing for me is, you know, I appreciate the consistency that she's had.
That's a typical play for her. I mean, she has so many steals. She's approaching the school record. She's 54 away from the school record. Held by Tammy Dowdell, your former assistant coach. That record stood since 1989, I believe it is. But she does a lot of that, and a lot of her points are just like this, layups. Although she has over 100 career three-pointers, too. I think her three-point shot is better than...
It's gotten better, and it's been more consistent, you know. I think she's really improved, and she's grown tremendously and matured. Some as well, you know, and it's been a great leader for us.
This game was another example. They came out in a 2-3 zone, and you struggled against it. For the second time, really in less than a week, Cards really made you struggle.
They did, you know, and it's a little bit frustrating because, again, in the first half we settled for threes. I think we may have been like 1 for 8, or I don't know. That may be generous. We missed a lot of threes, and I think the second half. We attack that zone more, and we attack the paint more, and we just can't sit back. The ball's got to move, and it was too slow moving in the first half for us. But it's got to move for us to be successful.
Is that did you all work on that in practice today, or Campbell County? I don't know if they'll play a zone or what they'll do, but.
Yeah, we use today more as just getting shots up and getting focused there offensively, and tomorrow we'll go through more of, you know, offensively and defensively what we're going to do with Campbell County.
I was kind of thinking about this just a few minutes ago when you were speaking that I noticed here the last couple of games, Kamari hasn't been as sharp with her shooting, and I was just thinking, you know, she's got to be tired because she plays almost every minute of every ball game.
Yeah, and that's why we try to be strategic in giving off days and how we practice. And we've typically been using Wednesdays because we've played 3 and 4 games. Well, one week we played 4. We've had a couple 3-game weeks. This is a 3-game week. And you're getting ready to go into the stretch where you're going to be playing. And so we're trying to give them rest as much as we can.
And, you know, as a player, you'd much rather be playing than practicing. But,
Absolutely.
You know, it's been a long season. I know you didn't have your typical workouts. I mean, I guess you said on the show, honestly, that you didn't do much different conditioning-wise, but they were not as conditioned as for whatever reason. But you know, all these games, they've got to be getting in condition, and you know.
There's a difference in being in like our preseason shape where we're on the track running and being in game shape.
Right.
You know, and the game shape is we gotta stay in game shape.
I thought last night rebounding was an issue for you, and did you see what were the final numbers there?
I have not.
Yeah, you put it away. Yeah.
I've tried not to, but yeah, we did not rebound the ball well at all. And I knew at halftime, I think I told you this last night, when they were leading us in offensive rebounds, and I mean, we did not do a good job rebounding last night.
Why? I mean, just
I don't know. You know, there were times out on the court, I'm looking out when we're on offense, and there's 4 standing around and 1 going in to score, and everybody's standing watching. I don't know. I don't know. I think down when we spread. We finally took the lead and continued to stretch that lead out. I think that's when we were getting some defensive rebounds and pushing in transition and scoring in transition.
You know, the boys struggled too in their ball game too against Carnes. You know, you're coming off of a rivalry ball game. You're playing a team that consistently over the last, well, I know your girls have never lost to
Right.
Carnes before, and last year I think they only scored 6 or 8 points in a ball game.
Right.
So it's kind of hard, and I've seen it my whole career. High school kids just get in their minds, we beat them badly, we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, as a coach, that you'd hate that, but,
Yeah.
but it's natural. I think.
It is. And, you know, it becomes a mental thing, and that's why I've always with my teams I've tried to say I'm not worried about who we're playing. We're worried about what we're going to do. You know, it's about us. It's not about them. And I wish I had an answer because our 2 games against Carnes were very frustrating games.
But like you said last night, and like you said to me on Thursday of last week, we're just going to put that away. Not going to think about that ball game. You do have 2 more games, actually 3 more games before our next show. Campbell County, traditional, all the girls pretty much have said they like playing Campbell County. You know, and even though Clinton might be the rivalry to them, but Campbell County I think is, and I'd say Pal is too, but to them still it's Campbell County,
Yeah.
and that's who you play Friday.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. We've had some great games against Campbell County. Great games up there, here. You know, a lot of times we played them, 4 times or 3 times in a season. It's just, I think that's where it's been super competitive. We've developed that rivalry. I can't even say that word, but within ourselves.
Yeah, they're kind of a guard-oriented team too. I'm trying to think back to that ball game what they played you. Was it a zone too? I don't remember.
I think there was some zone. I think he tries to throw in some junk defense like Fisher does at Powell. Like they may try some different things with us. They've played a zone. They played man. So. I still don't feel like when we're clicking, when we're moving the basketball offensively, and I say this not having had some strong half-court offensive teams. You know, we can be strong in half-court offense if we're making shots and we're moving the basketball. We can compete in half-court offense probably better than most half-court teams I've had. But what we've got to do. We have to start out fast in every game. We've got to get the momentum. When it's a slow start, and when the teams play us a zone and and they control, and it's a slow start for us, we struggle getting started. We can't do that.
You have had a good inside-outside game this year, though. I mean, that is something that has been really a positive for you. Not that Rajay wasn't a good inside player or Shatira before her, but Gracie's been very consistent inside for the most part.
Yeah, and I've said this. Gracie is the first true post player. That we've had.
She told me last week on the show she appreciaes you saying that.
Yeah.
It gives her confidence, actually.
Well, Gracie, I tell it to her every day if she needs to hear it, but. With true post moves, she's got great hands. I mean, great hands. She can catch. There's some passes that Hope throws in there, and only Gracie could catch those passes. Because she's got those hands, and she's got to get physically stronger. And she's grown tremendously. I'm hard on Gracie. I push Gracie. I don't know if she shared that last week or not, but I push her probably harder than, and I challenge her harder than most because my expectation is so high for her because I see so much potential.
And that's what you've said about Samaj too. And
Yeah.
when you're clicking, you have a pretty good team. I mean, it's you weren't clicking last night.
No, we were not.
Kamari was clicking pretty good. I mean,
Yes.
39 points, which
Yes.
is a career high for her. But I know you just want a little bit more consistency Friday, Saturday, and next Tuesday, because you got some really tough games coming
We do.
up.
We do. We've got some tough games. You know, you finished Campbell County. You've got Catholic, who, I mean, they're a young team, but they're going to be a good basketball team, and they've played really good teams this year. And then we've got Cleveland. They're, you know, obviously they beat us down there. I still say I'm looking forward to Tuesday against Cleveland to see where we're at. You know, we played them down there, our fourth game that week, our third game in a row, traveling down there on a Saturday. So I'm anxious to see where we're at on Tuesday with them.
So with the district championship, as I mentioned, you'll get a chance to host every ball game in the tournament, the district tournament, which is where you want to be.
Right.
This year, our region, it's our district's turn to host the region. So if you're district champion, we're looking way up the road here.
Right.
I mean, you still have 4 regular season games.
Right.
But if you win the district championship, you'll get a chance to host at the Wildcat
Yes.
Arena. So these championships, these next few weeks are going to be very, very crucial.
Very crucial, you know, and it's one game at a time. We got to finish out the district, and that, you know, we've talked about this. Our goal, we want to go undefeated in the regular season district. We've won the district regular season already, but we don't want to lose a basketball game, you know. And we schedule games at the end of our season after district, before the district tournament, against teams outside of our district to prepare for that postseason. And so we want to go into those three games, preparing for what's going to start our postseason to win a district championship first thing.
I know I spoke to Coach Mullins last night, and we were talking about they're going to allow fans in to the gym, 1/3 capacity. But what he said to me, and I don't want to misquote him here, but what he said, last year's our biggest crowd was the Fulton ball game, and it was just a little under 1,000 people. I think our gym holds 25.
Right.
Yeah. So 1/3, that's about
That's a big
1/3.
crowd,
So
yeah.
So basically they're not really going to put major restrictions on the fans coming in,
Right.
except mask, temperature checks, and social distancing. In our
Right.
gym, you can social distance. There's a lot of room
Absolutely.
in our gym.
Yes,
So.
we can. We're hoping. Our girls are excited. You know, they're excited to get to play in front of more people. They're more family members. Just, you know, I mean, it's been hard not having your family that you're used to being there, and your friends. So hopefully, you know, we'll get some good crowds there at our home games and finish out strong. I mean, especially in the postseason, our team and the boys' team. I mean, we could host all the way. Both of us could host all the way out. And so we need that support at home.
Speaking to Gracie and Lauren last week, we talked about that and how just, you know, they love their parents, they love their grandparents, but they want to play in front of their peers.
Yes.
And you know, the cheerleaders, I thought, you know, our cheerleaders obviously weren't there last night, but I noticed the Carnes cheerleaders there. That was the first time I'd seen cheerleaders in a gym, I think, all
Right.
year. And it made a difference. I heard them.
Right. You know, I made a comment, and I'm not bashing cheerleaders at all, but our first game without cheerleaders there, I think it was at Central maybe, or I can't remember where it was, where they had restricted everything. I said, you know, I never realized the difference that the cheerleaders make. Just you know, the energy, being loud, and you've got that background. You can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And last night at Carnes, when we were warming up, I said, this is probably the quietest I've heard a gym in warm-ups all season long.
Yeah,
I mean, you could have heard a pin drop in
It
there.
was dead silent in there. I couldn't. And during the game, it was that way
Right.
too. And there was a lot of people in there actually.
Yeah, it was weird last night, the noise.
Well, Coach, we're getting close to the end here. I see my co-host is coming in the door here, but we're getting close to the end of the season here. We talked about the crowd size. Only a few ball games left. Where do you want to see your team grow between now and postseason?
I think we've got the consistency. You know, everybody showing up. Like last night, Kamari showed up. I didn't feel like. I felt like Hope struggled a little bit. She responded when I got on to her a little bit in the second half, and she picked it up. Samaj never responded. Like Samaj has to, and I told her after the game, like, we need you scoring 15 to 20 points a game, along with Kamari, along with Hope, along with Gracie, you know, and Cannon picking up a few points here and there, and Lauren picking up a few points here and there. Like, we've got to have that to be successful. And at the beginning of the year, people, they always, how good are you going to be? And I think we've got 4 positions that on their best night, I wouldn't trade them for anybody. You know, and I think we can compete. We're solid there. And Cannon and Lauren have been consistent, you know, especially defensively. Cannon, I mean, last night I thought Cannon played great defensively.
That was one of her best games, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and she's getting smarter, and they're playing together more. And I just think if we can get everybody, you know, gelling and playing together, playing good together, their best games together, as we go into the postseason, I think we can be very successful.
The other district is very strong. I mean, there are some really strong teams in District 4, so the region will be tough. And the district will be tough, too. We got some, you know, competitive teams in our district, but the region is going to be tough, so they've got to start playing with consistency for sure.
Absolutely.
Coach, any final comments here?
No, just excited about the next 4 games, finishing out regular season and getting ready for the postseason.
Coach, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
It's Coach Paige Taylor, head coach of the Lady Wildcats. Lady Wildcats will be in action Friday night, 6 o'clock against Campbell County at the Wildcat Arena. Then on Saturday against the Catholic team. I think that'll be regular times, I believe, on that.
4 and 5:30.
4 and 5:30.
Yes,
so
they moved them up. No
okay.
JV. 4 and 5:30.
Okay, 4 and 5:30. So that's when the start times. I'm glad you told me
Yeah,
that.
sorry.
That's all right. And then next Tuesday, before our next show, we've got the Cleveland Blue Raiders, and that is 6 o'clock. I know that for a fact. So we're going to take a break now. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to the boys' side of things. We'll get to that in a moment.
Everything we do is in search of more go. If it can withstand 0 degrees, can it go -20? If it can run through 5 inches of water per hour, can it go to 6? We go. So it goes. So you can go. It's hard to stop a train.
Fox Insurance Group is a local agency. We've got a great staff. We're knowledgeable. The most rewarding thing about working in insurance is taking care of customers. When they come in, a lot of times they don't know what coverages they need. They're relying on us to give them the right coverage that's going to fit their needs, but also at a competitive price. Anybody can go to any agent, or they can call any 1-800 number. But getting that right agent that's going to take care of them and be there in time of need, and that's what we're here to do.
We're always moving. Scratch that. We're always moving forward. But forward can sometimes look a little backwards. Or like circles. Or like nothing at all. But we never stop. We never stop. Because life never stops. It's hard to stop a train.
Life is made of moments. Moments to share. Moments that are special. And those that are everyday. How do we meet these moments for over 2 million people across 23 counties in East Tennessee? We will meet them not as just a group of hospitals, but as one community of care. Because this is about you, and it's about time. Covenant Health. For every moment.
Train extreme conditions testing. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable heating and cooling.
And welcome back to Off the Glass. Joining me, we've got a couple special guests here. My part-time co-host here, Jeremy Miller, senior, member of the basketball team, the newest member of the 1,000 Point Club.
Yep.
Last night, hit a 3, tied Jonathan Milloway the same amount of threes, but you did it on that 3-pointer. And I've been messing with you all year about that. But first off, congratulations. Only 23 players, and that seems like a lot, but not really. And since 1943, we're talking about 78 years of basketball, and only 23 players have ever scored 1,000. So it's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've always kind of shot for. I mean, I don't really focus on personal milestones much, but this is a big one. So But yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to get that ball that they put
Yeah.
the 1,000 on. So yeah, it was definitely exciting. All my teammates hyping me up about it. It was super cool too.
Well, you're going to have to get Milloway to get a few more points going here because he's knocking on the door, but we're going to have a little extended run for him.
Yeah, we talked about that. He said it was going to be close, but he's just got to keep scoring. But he said he doesn't want to focus on it too much because then he won't be able to make anything.
We have another special guest. We'll switch to him in a second here, and we'll talk to senior Nick Dallas. He's with us here, and apologize to him. I didn't get a chance to speak to him at football, and I didn't even remember that. That's the worst part about it, honestly. I didn't remember not speaking to you. But Nick is a senior member of the basketball team, like Jeremy. Let's talk a little bit basketball here, Jeremy. You won the district championship regular season this past Friday at Clinton. Mainly because of Nick Dallas's pregame post about the ball game, obviously,
Yeah.
and we'll talk to him about that here in a little bit. But talk about the importance of winning the district championship.
I mean, it's just kind of just a goal that we have every year. I mean, obviously, nobody wants to lose, but this year it's especially kind of crucial that we did because now, I mean, we'll play at home for however many games it is. I'm not really sure, but because of the higher seed thing and how we'll get to host or whatever. So, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, we still have work to do. So
In the district tournament, you'll have two games, the semifinals, hopefully the championship game, or consolation game, but hopefully the championship game, 3 games in the region, maybe a sub-state ball game, so that you at least know that you potentially could have those in the postseason at home. And, a lot of teams obviously will be traveling. I mean, only Clinton and you all will be, you're guaranteed really, and you're the only one guaranteed to play all of them if you win. So,
Yeah.
Your team this year, and let's put Nick up on the screen there real quick here, Dylan. That's Nick Dallas right there. Yeah, friendly face there. Played football and basketball. Has been on the team. Nick, let me ask you the same question about that. How important was winning the district this past Friday against Clinton?
I wouldn't. It's always something that we shoot for. It's something Coach Green. It's one of the milestones Coach Green shoots for and everything. I think it's nice just because we get to play at home for the district tournament. You don't want to go somewhere like Clinton to have to play there. So it's nice for that reason. But like Jeremy said, we still have more to work on and still more to improve on.
Let me ask you both this question here. And I don't want to get into debate. I don't want to be critical, but the team this year seems a little different from last year. Is it? And last year you guys were mainly juniors, younger, a lot more enthusiasm. Do you all? Is it more business-like this year? Less enthusiasm? There's a difference in the team that I think. Do you all perceive that, or is that just something that I see?
yeah, I think that's kind of one of our problems too this year with our team is like last year we were kind of on a mission to prove ourselves and let people know who we were because, I mean, I guess sophomores we barely played any, and then juniors we had 4 of our starters were juniors or whatever. So, I mean, I think we were just coming out every night and just remembering in the back of our heads that we had something to prove to everybody. And then now we're kind of like top dog and everybody knows that we're like that we can play. So it's a different approach to the game, but we just kind of have to try to keep that fire lit under us and just go for our big goal, which would be state.
Nick, let me kind of piggyback on something that Jeremy just said there. Do you think that it is harder for you all this year because you are you qualified for the state tournament last year. You won the district. You're runner-up in the region. Won your sub-state game easily. Do you think more teams have you as with a bullseye? I mean, they're gunning for you all the time because you're the top dog, and it's harder for you all to get up every single night because everyone's up for you?
Yeah, I would say for sure. Coach Green always talks about how we have a target on our back. I think after proving ourselves last year and coming back with the same team, with the exception of Isaiah Johnson, that target just got bigger. And everyone in our district always wants to beat us. So Coach Green always says everyone gives us their best shot. So,
and obviously you're 19-3, so you've had a very successful season. I mean, your season has really been good. You had the loss to Kingston really before the football guys were back, including Nick, and then the 2 games at Alcoa when you were hurt, which makes a big difference. And obviously, you didn't play your best ball. You didn't play your best ball last night too, just for whatever reason, the previous December ball game you scored 107 points against Carnes. Last night it was in the 20s late into the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the difference? And we're going to show some highlights in a minute. But
I think it was just kind of our mindset going into the game. I mean, I don't think we were mentally prepared to go out and get it done because we had beaten them so bad the first time we went out there, and we were lackadaisical is what Coach Green always calls it or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, I just don't think we went into the game ready, and then they got some momentum going. I mean, we were up 10-2, and then we missed like 2 layups. Coach Green talked about this in practice. We missed a layup. Stafford missed one, and then I came down and missed one, and then Stewart came down, and he got fouled on one and missed, which was one that he probably should have made. And so instead of being 16-2, it was 10-2 still, and then they kind of ran off that because they hit a 3 or whatever, and it was 5-10. So I mean, I think they just kind of got some early momentum, and we were just kind of cruising through, and that hurt us. So.
you know, you had to deal with a big guy, Aiden Goins, I believe his name is, 285 pounds. Nick, you had to deal with people bigger than you all season during football, but this guy, big, had a nice little shot. What was it like playing against him? I'll ask both of you because you both played it, had to deal with him.
Yeah, it's kind of hard just because he can kind of stretch the floor a little bit for him, and obviously he makes a problem in the paint and getting rebounds and stuff. But I mean, I wasn't on him much. It was mostly Millway, which I thought he did a pretty good job with him. But
Yeah, weighs him by 100 pounds or so.
yeah, so I mean, Coach Green was just trying to tell us to do our work early and don't let him get in position to get the ball. So just kind of play him before he gets the ball. So that's what we tried to do.
Nick, did you have to deal with him much?
No, actually, when he was actually out the first quarter, and so he wasn't in when I was in there for the bulk of the time. I had to deal with him last game though, and he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He's hard to move in the paint, and if you leave him open, he can shoot it. So.
Here in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you some football-related questions too about your size, which is, not big really for a lineman in football, but you held your own. Let's roll some highlights here, Dylan. We'll start with the Clinton ball game. I'll let both of you kind of comment on this. That's a good start there. I think it was 3-0 Clinton at that point. Then Jonathan tied it.
That was a good move.
You had the inside game. Really, you could dominate most of the game inside. Although number 11 is pretty good inside.
Yeah, he is. And they're a very young team as well. They're all juniors mostly. Actually, I think all of them are. But yeah, number 11, his name is Lane Harrison. I don't know if you remember Luke.
Yeah.
He played a couple years, played with Marcus and them.
Mm-hmm.
That's his older brother. So, but yeah, he's definitely good.
What part of this game did you think that you all played the best?
Defensively, for sure. I mean, our goal was just kind of to stop number 3, Jackson, just because that's they play through him. So if we shut him down, then they're going to have to find another option, which they're not used to.
Yeah, I think in 2 ball games he's only hit 1-3 in each game.
Yeah.
And that the 3 he hit Friday was late
Yeah.
in the ball game. I mean, he did hurt you with his driving at the free throw line. Basically, he did get some points there. But you did hold him down. But the early going, it was the Harrison kid player hitting threes out there.
Right.
Was that unexpected, or was it the way the defense was?
Well, I mean, we knew he could shoot it a little bit, but I mean, I don't think we were really focusing on him. We weren't really super concerned about him shooting, and then I mean, he lit us up in the first half, so we just kind of adjusted to it at halftime.
How important, Nick, is it for you guys to beat the Dragons in any sport?
It's important to me personally. I know it's important to Coach Green, but I think it's just something I always strive to do through middle school, high school. I don't think I've lost to Clinton one time in anything ever.
Well, yeah, it's been a long time since we lost him in basketball. I think it's 25 straight games, so it's way before you all were ever up here. Almost over 10 years in football too. But Clinton's a good team. They're going to be the number 2 seed. With their win last night over Central, I believe, or was it Powell? I think it was Central. Anyway,
It was Powell.
Okay,
Powell.
so they're going to be the number 2 seed. So they'll be opposite you. And last year you played them in the district championship ball game, and I would assume, more than likely that's going to be your opponent again.
Right.
Of the teams, now we've played everybody in the district. for the most part, except Campbell County twice. Well, you'll play them Friday. But Clinton, the best team in our district besides you guys?
I would say so. I think that they kind of have that feeling that we had last year that they need to come out and.
That was a really nice play, by the way.
I got yelled at for that. I thought that was Millway coming on the baseline, so I tried to lob it so he could dunk it, and then I looked and it was Lucas, so I had to try to make up for it.
Yeah, it's a nice play, though. You're deflecting it off of him, too.
Yeah, but what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Clinton, I think they just kind of have that mindset that we had last year that they need to kind of prove who they are and just come out swinging every night. So I would definitely say they were the number 2 team in the district.
You know, one thing that what are you doing there?
Huh?
Nothing. Well, here's from last night's ball game. Very slow start there. Kind of a missed shot there, put back by Stafford. Stafford, Nick, has had some pretty good games against his former team.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
I think he had 30 the first time.
The first time, yeah.
And then 14 last night, maybe.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think the leading scorer is shooting right there. You had a pretty good night shooting, I thought.
Yeah.
Nice play there.
Sorry, I wanted to watch that one. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to get to like kind of my hot spots, you know, like that little short corner where I just kind of took a dribble in and pulled it up. Coach Aaron's been talking to me recently just about being more aggressive, so I was kind of hunting my shot last night, and I felt like it worked out pretty good for me.
You know, your size, and you look at most of the teams we play, your length as a team is bigger than most teams we play. You, Jonathan, even Lucas is in there, Stafford, obviously. Your inside game, obviously, is pretty good with Jonathan and Stafford. And Nick, when he gets a chance to play. Nick's a scoring machine sometimes.
He sure is.
For the minutes that Nick Dallas plays, he puts up points.
Yeah. It's funny. I always hate to talk about this, but I guess I'll give him some credit. I played a full game. This happened twice now. It happened once this year, too, at PAL. I played a full game, and Nick played the fourth quarter and outscored me.
Really?
Yes, both times. But, yeah, we love.
Well, let me ask you about, we're a little slow motion there. Let me ask you about that Nick. You obviously played basketball your whole life, and you're part of the game. You seem to love to shoot. I mean, when you get the ball, you're going to shoot it. I mean, it's going up. Is that your best part of your game, or where do you consider your best part of your game?
It kind of depends. I would call myself a streaky shooter at best. I wouldn't say that I can shoot well by any means, but it's fun to get out there when I'm feeling it.
Yeah, you're a bigger guy, but your feet are quick. I mean, I think that is actually part of your game that I've noticed in the years that I've watched you. Your feet are quick, which is, I think, a very important. Jeremy, you can comment on this. His feet are quick.
I agree. You don't see many guys with Nick's size and build that are as quick and athletic as Nick is. So.
Well, there's the big guy in there. There's our big guy, but then there's their big guy. Did he play football? He didn't. He looks like he's put a lot of time in the gym.
I don't know where he came from.
No, he doesn't. I asked him about it, and he doesn't, which amazed me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he puts a lot of time in the gym because he's got a really nice shot, honestly. So you were able to get the lead. I know Coach Green actually after the ball game told me he was not pleased with your all's ball game. What did he say to you guys after the game?
He said, "I'll see y'all tomorrow at 3:00."
That's all he said to you?
Yeah, he said he did. He said he wasn't fooling with it no more.
What about practice? Did you all watch tape today?
No, he said he didn't want to see it again.
Okay.
But I mean, he went back and watched it last night. But we all came into practice knowing today was going to be a rough one, so we just kind of brought it and went hard and just kind of did the things that we were supposed to do to kind of keep him on the happier side of things. So it actually turned out good for us.
I think Jamison has really stepped up his game on both sides of the ball last night. I think he hit 3 threes, which were important from the outside. Nick, I'm going to ask you a question. You're a role player on the team. You get a chance to play at times. But how tough is it for a role guy like yourself, like Jamison, Caden, Flip, who else down the line there, Darren? How is it tough for you to get ready to come into a ball game cold after not playing for a while?
It's hard at the beginning just because I think it's actually easier at the beginning because you get warmed up and everything, and you're sitting there, and a lot of times you're just kind of sitting there anticipating, waiting, watching, ready for your name to be called. So when that time does come, it's not super hard to jump up there. Later on in the game, it gets a little harder after halftime after you've been sitting there, but you just have to adapt.
Okay, Nick, this is Nick Dallas got on the screen here. Jeremy and I are going to ask you some questions. Jeremy never does, but I asked him to come up with some questions. He did come up with one, and maybe we'll ask you that question that he came up with. Do you want to ask him that question? Well, we'll get to that in a moment. The Clinton Post here.
Yeah.
Here's a series of questions. Some of them are serious related, and some of them are not. Just want your honest answer with them. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
The goal right now is to go to probably ETSU next year and do nursing at school. So the goal in 20 years is to be either a traveling nurse or an orthopedic surgeon.
A traveling nurse. What is that?
A travel nurse is kind of someone who you kind of travel. Like you don't have a set hospital that you stay at. You kind of go to wherever there's a need. So you may travel around the country. You can travel around locally, and wherever they need you, you just kind of go.
And Nick, your name has come up in this question. I've asked this question to your teammates. Your name has come up here, and Jeremy can comment on this one. But on your team, in a zombie apocalypse, who would you want to have with you in this apocalypse, and why?
Oh gosh.
Come on now.
Jeez.
This survival's resting on somebody in your shoulders.
I may take Jeremy actually.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a good pick. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
some of them have picked you as well because they think you might be slower and you might be eaten first.
Wow, that's disrespectful.
Those are your teammates saying
No.
that. Do you have something to say to them?
I actually think that was my answer.
Probably was.
Talk about your football experience this year. You hadn't played since middle school. You were a starter all season. How was that for you?
Oh, it was so fun. I kind of regret, honestly, not playing the past 3 years. Don't let Coach Gaddis know that. But, yeah, it was an amazing experience, really. We went out. I was a little bit uneasy at first just because, I haven't played football in 3 years. These guys are a lot bigger than me and stronger than me, and had a lot more experience. But it was super fun going out. Got close with a lot of guys, and we obviously did pretty well. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Made it all the way to the state championship game. What's an interesting fact about you that somebody might not know?
One that probably some people may know, but I've played piano for like 9 years now. So
Have you ever heard him play the piano?
Yeah, I've heard him a few times. He's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah, no, he's very talented.
Jeremy, do you play an instrument?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Okay.
I've tried before, and I don't know if it's my fingers. I don't know what it is, but I just can't do it.
Nick Dallas, what do you consider to be the perfect vacation?
Probably like a long cruise that stops at a bunch of different places, like different islands and stuff that you get to go see around, but you also get to travel and be on a cruise for a couple weeks.
Jeremy wants to go to the beach with a bunch of girls. That's what his perfect vacation was, he said. Isn't that what you said?
That is what I said.
Where's your go-to restaurant? Like when you want to go out, what's your favorite place to go eat?
Depends on how much money I'm wanting to spend. Like anywhere, probably Mikata. It's a Japanese restaurant in Hardin Valley.
Okay. Who is the hardest person on the basketball team to guard in practice?
For me,
Yeah.
probably like Kel, just because of the quickness and athleticism. It's kind of hard for me. Or Stafford has actually become kind of hard to guard just because he's quick, but can also shoot. But he's also big enough to be able to have a presence in the post.
I think I asked you this, but I'll ask you again. Who is your hardest person?
I would probably agree with Nick with Kel. He's just really shifty, and he's really good at getting a shot off. So if he's feeling it, it would be him. But I also agree with Stafford. His athleticism is just insane. But then middle way as well, just with how big he is, it's just hard to do anything with him. So.
Which team do you like playing against the most? Playing against team.
Playing against or beating?
Beating, playing against, either one.
Clinton, 100%.
100%.
Okay.
I love
What's your
being-
favorite gym besides our gym to play in?
In our district,
Anywhere.
Oliver Springs Middle School.
Carnes isn't a bad gym to play in.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Probably like just science classes, like chemistry, probably.
Contrast the yelling styles of Coach Green to Coach Gaddis.
They both are very vocal when they want to be. Coach Green, you just hear more clearly because you're in a gym, but they both for sure get their point across when they want to.
Were they on you? Because you hadn't played in a long time. I mean, so you had really a lot to learn, basically. Was that hard for you when you first started back to football?
It was, especially just because they didn't really know what I could do because they obviously hadn't seen me play since 8th grade. So I was moved around a lot. Started as a tight end, moved to left tackle on offense about halfway through the year, and then on defense I played a couple of different positions. So it was hard, but at the same time it was also fun just to get in there.
Do you trash talk on the football field and the basketball court?
It depends on who we're playing, and it also depends on the person who I'm up against.
Like on the offense, on the line of scrimmage in football, I know there's a lot of talking that goes back and forth. Were you the subject of the other team saying stuff to you?
Sometimes. A lot of teams kind of picked on me just because I was smaller for the line and because they knew I hadn't played before. So a lot of the guys talked to me.
We've seen Jeremy dunk. We've seen Jonathan Milloway dunk. We've seen Stafford dunk.
Yeah.
Will we ever see Nick Dallas dunk?
Maybe. I may have to bring it out. I don't know.
Jeremy, will we ever see Nick dunk?
Like you said, I mean, if he wants to bring it out, he probably could. It's just it's more of a practice thing. He does it in practice a lot more.
Which part of your game, Nick, do you need to work on the most in basketball?
I'd say probably just quickness, like lateral quickness to be able to guard guards if there ever needs to be a switch, and then ball handling and shooting. Just things to sharpen up.
Do you read? Do you read books or anything like that?
I do.
What kind of books do you read?
I like to read a lot of different books. Fiction's kind of my go-to, just any kind of fiction really. But I also like to read kind of like books about maybe success and stuff like that.
Okay. Who are your favorite all-time sports teams? Favorite athlete of all time?
My favorite athlete growing up used to be Ray Allen. I used to love watching him play.
Okay. Any team?
It was the Heat for that reason. LeBron was cool to watch, but I always liked to watch Ray Allen when
As I said, you're a role player. What do you guys talk about on the bench when the other guys are out playing before you get into a ball game?
I'd hate to know.
we talk about the game a lot of the times, or if something's happening, we like to talk about that. But it's a lot of times I just like to get hyped for the games, like on the sideline. It's just fun for me, like standing up and if someone hits a three, just getting up and celebrating, just fun.
Who's the most hyped person on the team? Who gets hyped the most, and who gets you hyped the most?
Who gets me hyped the most? I'd probably say it's like Jeremy whenever he like dunks or makes a big three or something like that. It's just fun to watch.
Your grandfather has a name on the side of a building. Will you ever have a name on the side of any building? And if you did, what building would that be?
I don't know. He's accomplished a lot. If my name ever was on the side of a building, probably, hopefully like a medical office or hospital or something like that.
Do you have a favorite game that you played in that comes back to both sports, football and basketball? What's your favorite games that you played in?
The one that comes up for sure is the state championship game in football. It was just an experience, kind of getting to go out there and play. It wasn't our best game by far, but it was just an experience that I don't think I'll ever forget.
So, what will? I'm sorry about my voice. What will you have to do to win a state championship as a team?
For basketball?
Yeah.
Obviously, football's over. Sorry. just keep working hard. Every day we've got to come into practice. It's not going to get any easier from here on out. It's just going to get harder. Teams are going to get more competitive. All the weak teams are just kind of going to get narrowed down. So each game we play, we've got to come in with a mindset that it's not just going to be an easy game for us to win.
Jeremy, do you have any questions for your teammate, Mr. Dallas?
No, I had one. Dang it, I lost it.
Well, what was this Clinton post? I mean, what did that involve?
You wanted or me?
He obviously doesn't want to answer this question, so should we just move on past it?
No, I mean, it was just funny because, I mean, obviously the Clinton game is a very hype game, and everybody was just kind of posting game day stuff, so Nick sends in this reverse layup he hit. I don't remember which game it was, but it was a while ago. And he, brought it up on the left side and then brought it under to the right and spun it in, and everybody started going crazy. And he posted it on there and said game day, and we all just thought it was really funny.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's cool, though.
But Nick never posts anything about basketball, so we just thought it was hilarious. But also, a fun fact about Nick is he's a DoorDash driver.
Is he really?
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah.
You make money doing that?
Yeah, I do.
Really? We got a minute to go here. I've just been told you've got Campbell County on Friday. Campbell County might be the hottest team in the district right now. I think they've won 6 out of their last 7 games, something like that, all in the district. What's it going to take to beat them?
We just got to come with a mindset, with the killer instinct mindset and all that, and just be ready to go and not do what we did last night and come in just thinking it's going to be easy, because obviously it's not with how hot they've been recently in the district. So. And, I mean, it's senior night, too, so I think that'll help us out a lot, because we'll want to win by a lot. So we just got to come out and do what Coach Green asked us to.
Nick, any final comments here?
You about wrapped it up.
Appreciate you two guys coming up here, Nick Dallas and Jeremy Miller. Once again, it's Oak Ridge and Campbell County coming up on Friday. Saturday, big game against Catholic. We didn't get a chance to talk about that. Huge game, huge team. And we hope you'll be at the Wildcat Arena. And Tuesday against Cleveland. For Dylan in the back, for Nick and Jeremy, I'm David Clary. Until next week, so long, everybody.
Train. Extreme conditions testing. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable heating and cooling.
Life is made of moments. Moments to share. Moments that are special. And those that are everyday. How do we meet these moments for over 2 million people across 23 counties in East Tennessee? We will meet them not as just a group of hospitals, but as one community of care. Because this is about you, and it's about time. Covenant Health, for every moment.
Fox Insurance Group is a local agency. We've got a great staff. We're knowledgeable. The most rewarding thing about working in insurance is taking care of customers. When they come in, a lot of times they don't know what coverages they need. They're relying on us to give them the right coverage that's going to fit their needs, but also at a competitive price. Anybody can go to any agent, or they can call any 1-800 number. But getting that right agent that's going to take care of them and be there in time of need, and that's what we're here to do.